Here to keep the chase going, share information, spread unity, preserve our heritage and our culture. We're trying to achieve something that you just can't catch. We're always trying to find a better way, trying to make better dogs. That's what Dixie Doggers Podcast is. That's who we are.
This episode is brought to you by Rankin Ranch 38 Cattle Company. Marc Rankin specializes in Brahma and Brahma Cross cattle in Oglethorpe County, Georgia. You can contact him at 407-832-2077. 407-832-2077. This episode is also brought to you by Phil Wilson of UC Hunting Properties. If you're buying or selling land, farms, or hunting property, these folks know land. You can contact him at 678-791-3483, 678-791-3483, or visit his website down below in the description.
Okay, everybody, Nate and Joey here one more time. We're doing a Dixie Doggers Podcast.
Yes, indeed.
We got Uncle Pat on the horn with us tonight, and we got us a special guest. She deals with them coyote dogs. They're not chasing coyotes, but they're part coyote. That's what I've always been told. It's them Lacys. I think it's a scent hound and a greyhound and a coyote. I think that's the way them Lacy dogs are bred up. That's them Texas dogs. So she's got Double D Lacys, and I don't know. She's got the wounded game recovery deal going on, but I think she dabbles in a little bit of everything. So how are y'all doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. How are you boys doing?
Doing good. Doing real good. You came highly recommended by way of Uncle Pat. Was telling me some stuff about you, in which I knew the name, and I think that I don't know if we actually met but I've seen you maybe in Tyler, Texas. Were you at the Boar's Nest?
I don't believe so.
I didn't. They had the Lacy field trial there a few years ago, or a couple of different things to do with the Lacys, and I didn't know if maybe you were there or not. So that's why I said I didn't know if I had met you there or not, but I can't even remember when they done that.
The last Lacy bay they had was over there in Louisiana.
It was in Louisiana?
Did you come to that one?
No, ma'am. Did not go to the one in Louisiana. Like I said, the only one that I'd been to was in Tyler, Texas. And I'll be honest, it's been a pretty good while ago. It's probably been 6 years ago, better.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't make it to that one.
I don't know. So, but tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into these Lacys and what all you do with them.
Well, first of all, you already said I'm Jaslan. My friends call me Jazz for short, and I've got Double D Lacys. That's how you can find me on my social media accounts. And hunters typically call me up and they ask me if I'm the lady with the tracking dogs because they can't remember my name or they don't know it. But, that works. It don't much matter to me what you call me, just as long as you call me. I'm out of Orange, Texas. And, well, first of all, before we get talking about too much or get into my dogs, I want to thank both of you for having me on the show and giving me the opportunity to talk about my dogs. It's something that I love and I'm passionate about. Well, my primary focus is breeding. Yeah. My primary focus is breeding and raising and training these dogs for the purpose of trailing wounded whitetails and exotics. I've been breeding these Lacy dogs for a few years now, and this is going to be our 6th year of tracking for the public. So we're kind of still new at it, but not as experienced as some people that have been doing it for 15 plus years. Mm-hmm. Here in the area, still trying to get our name out and let hunters know that we're available.
Well, maybe this will help a little bit. I don't know. We're getting to where we got quite a few listeners out there, so maybe this will add 1 or 2 calls to the list.
Well, I sure hope it would.
Yeah.
Prior to 2020, it was illegal here in Jasper, Hardin, Tyler, and San Augustine counties to track wounded deer. So I think there's a lot of folks that don't know that law has changed, because all of Texas, besides those few counties, you could track deer. So I'm right here in those counties where you couldn't. Now, granted, there was still some people that were, but there's just a lot of hunters that don't know that you can now.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I didn't know. I was totally unaware of that. I get most of my information from Uncle Pat or from Jake out there that way.
Hey, look. Not only is she smart, she's good looking too. I'm gonna just throw that out there.
Well, see, there's some more of that good information we got. Look at there.
Now, Uncle Pat, don't you be telling him all that stuff now. You're gonna embarrass me and make me blush.
So with these, with dealing with the public, what do you find that's the biggest thing that they need to do before they call you for to make it a successful track?
The biggest thing hunters need to do before they do anything is just be patient. Patience is the absolute number one thing you can do before you even consider a dog, before you get down out of your tree stand. Give it 30 minutes, give it an hour. And then when you go down there to your hit site, look around, see what you've got, look at the blood. What color is it? Do you have hair? Do you have bone? And before that'll tell you a whole lot about where you might have hit the animal. Pay attention to what the deer did when you shot it. And take some pictures and then go in there and quiet. Don't call all your buddies from camp just yet. Just quietly go look and see if you see your deer. If you've went 200 yards and you hadn't seen it, it's probably a good idea to back out. And most people know when they've made a not so great shot.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that we track a little bit, but no, we're not professionals. But no, I wouldn't consider us professionals. We try to act professional, but we got some dogs that'll find them, but that's our biggest issue. And that's why I wanted to ask you that is, guys get their pawpaw's beagle or their neighbor's lab or border collie and they call 12 people and they spend 4 hours stomping through the woods and then they call you.
Yeah, just go on, scratch that.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
A dog that Ray Charles could have found the deer, and he's found two, that's not a commercial trailing dog.
Exactly.
And having your buddies out there just mucks it all up. You're going to spread scent here, there, and yonder. And yes, I have experienced enough dogs. We can work through that. If you tell me, say we had a search party out here, that really helps me know what we're working with. Mm-hmm. And we've got to get past that mucked up scent.
Yeah, it's nice if they give you a heads up of what you're going into.
Absolutely. That can mean the difference between recovery or not. It's the same as having, your camp dog out there. Mm-hmm. It's the same exact thing. If I don't know that, then I'm not going to understand what's going on. But knowing that, I can work through it.
So you saying my dog probably ain't good enough then? Because all I got is yard dogs. I don't got no.
You got hog dogs that'll run a deer.
Do I?
Ain't true, Cody?
Yeah.
I want them to.
That's right.
Hey, we did that this morning.
You're always running something or another. I see you on Facebook.
He chases stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let's don't watch out now. Y'all gonna get me in trouble.
I didn't say all it says he's chasing stuff. And see, how's that gonna get you in trouble?
I'm not gonna say nothing.
There you go. If Pat start opening up on track, we gotta watch him.
Hey boys, I'll locate and I promise you I'll run to catch.
I'm just gonna leave that one alone.
That's right. Pat, what do you got to ask Miss Jaslan? You got come on with a good question for her. I know you got something cooking up in that noodle.
Okay, so hunting season's coming. Like it's here. But I've seen Ken and them. They done killed a few bucks over yonder on the East Coast, so that means Texas is burned up, getting ready to go hunt. Mm-hmm. Jaslan, what have you been doing to get these dogs in shape, to get them legged up? Because some of these deer's going to run. They're going to be like, and they're going to have to pull them down and catch them. I know your stuff is like mine already. I already know this because I know our dogs a little bit. They're going to run to catch it. So what have you been doing to get them in shape?
Absolutely. I run my dogs about 3 to 6 miles every evening. I take them out there. I mean, I run them in the evening, but it's still hot enough that, you got to get them used to the heat because it's still going to be hot in archery season. it don't start cooling off till, November. It's dry, it's hot. And so, yeah, I take them out there and I run them. I get them legged up and ready to go.
For people that don't know Orange, Texas, you can go 300 yards and be from a cypress swamp to a pine thicket to salt grass on the coast and vice versa, and then back through it again. So she don't live far from Jake down there. So it's a very diverse place.
Yeah, it surprised me when, we hauled quail out there for quite a few years, and we would come right right past where Jake lives at, exit 5. Is that right? Orange, Texas? And
yeah, I think so.
I think it's exit 5 anyway. And like you said, one day we got off right there and we went south a little bit. Man, we were in the marsh quick. And so we turned around and went back up, and I was like, man, it looks like two different worlds, literally within 5 miles.
I've tracked in some marsh. I mean, I've been some knee deep water with gators out there, and I'm looking around thinking,
Oh, yeah, that would be tough. Do you have to deal with the gators a lot, or is that just in the marsh?
No, not too much, but I have seen them.
Okay.
I've been out there at nighttime and put my light out, and I have seen gators out there, and I'm I get a little leery, like, I don't know if, but we just keep on going, and I carry a side piece, so if it came down to something like that, I mean, it is what it is, but for the most part, no.
I got you.
I hadn't had any encounters with one or anything.
We're not saying she would poach a gator, but she would do something to get his mind right. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
I would encourage him to go on downstream. Just go over there.
He would remove himself.
He would get real docile in a hurry.
Yeah. Nathan's got a question he's wanting to throw in there.
Do you deal with any injuries on your trailing dogs? And if so, what type?
We'll be back after a quick break.
And now, thanks to the sponsors and friends of Dixie Doggers. Animal Housing Solutions.
Boars N Broads.
Crockett Taxidermy.
Hardcore Hog Dogs.
Southern Cross Cut Gear.
Ada Y Transport.
4L Kennels.
The American Doghorn Museum.
Unique Hounding Hunting Supply.
Hogbaying.com.
Tuskers Magazine.
Mud Creek Hog Dog Trials.
I've actually been pretty lucky. I haven't run into any kind of major injuries with my dogs. Mostly they just get kind of cut up with briars or one thing or another. And heck, I think I come out looking like I've gotten in a fight with a boar coon more than they come out looking all right. But sometimes I come out and I don't look so good. My arms are scratched up. I've got my hair's all in a twist.
Yes, ma'am.
It gets pretty thick. I mean, I go in some really nasty stuff to help people get their deer. I got to turn my back and just kind of plow through it. And sometimes if I've got a big old boy, I'll say, hey, can you make a path? And he says, yes, ma'am. I said, just mow it through. We've got to get in there. The dogs are bait up and, they're expecting us to get there so I can get that deer down. And we just do what we got to do to get it done.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
No, go ahead, Pat.
So doing all this, I already know you and I know your dogs, but I want the people to understand what kind of handle do you have on these dogs?
Well, handle is very important to me. I got to have a handle on my dogs. I know there's a lot of people that don't really care so much about that, but I can call my dogs off. If my collars stop working, they're trained to recall if they can hear me. I've got a special call. I say, woo, woo, woo. And that means get on back and come on in. Because you can't rely on, electronics all the time.
That's right.
Sometimes they just get funny. Batteries could die. I mean, you just don't ever know. And I can call them off. When we've got one bait up, I just tell them out. and they know I'm supposed to shoot that deer.
So when you put them, you can take them to the woods, and if you don't put them on a blood trail, they will find a hog. I know they will, but I want you to tell the people about it. They will find and buy a hog. I've seen the videos.
We do a little bit of everything. In the off season, we do a little hog hunting. I do a little trapping. We relocate some raccoons and some coyotes, and those hogs, we've got to get them off the lease too. They for every one you kill, there's 10 more born.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God.
Yes, exactly.
Amen on that.
Exactly. So with the versatility of the Lacys, I mean, is that the main reason that you chose the Lacy dog as a breed, or what's the history with you and the Lacy breed?
I had always had hog dogs. To be honest with you, I'd never even heard of Lacys. I'd always had some Catahoulas, and my old dog, I still have him. He don't have no teeth. He can't hardly get around. He's my last cat, and I was looking for another new dog to manage the hogs on this lease that I run. And somebody said, well, what about a Lacy dog? Because they know I'm into all kinds of different stuff. And I said, well, what in the world is that? And they said, well, it's the state dog of Texas. And I'd never heard of it. I mean, a lot of people hadn't heard of it. And so I got me one, and heck, here I am with seven more later.
It don't take
I've
long.
kind of just, I got a whole pack of them. I'm ready to go. But yeah, they were bred to be versatile. They're known for being hog dogs, but they've got a heck of a nose on them. Being a cur dog, they've got grit, and they've pretty good trailing dogs.
Okay.
I got into it with my first one, Hank. He's my main dog, and he was actually given to me. He was a little bit too much dog for the guy that had bought him, and I knew the first day I had him he was going to be a trailing dog. And I said, well, I'm gonna have to get into tracking, or I'm gonna have to give him to somebody that could. And so I started training him up, and well, the rest is history. Once I did those first couple tracks, I was hooked. It wasn't just for him; it was for me too.
Yeah.
It sounds like Hank is a lot like me. My third wife got rid of me because I was a little too much, she said. I think it'll be time less, is all I can tell you.
I think it's because he kept getting out of the pen trying to breed the neighbor's dog or something, maybe. That's what's wrong with Pat.
I'm not supposed to be laughing that hard.
Yeah.
They can't even get a collar on me, cuz.
That's it. You had to put some weed eater string on you. You had to do like Nathan, put that 1.5 out there and get a toe kit so you can pet you.
Yeah.
Just some of them feral dogs.
So
I like those dogs with personality and some get on with.
Well,
it.
you'll love a couple that we have. They got a personality, if that's what you want to call it.
I might have one or two of those myself.
Yeah. That's a fact. Well, we got one of them running around the yard to come out of your stuff anyway, so that just goes hand in hand.
He looks like a dog that went extinct like 10,000 years ago.
Yeah. I tell everybody he's half coyote, and they're like, he looks like it. I was like, yeah, I think he is.
He is the strangest looking dog I've ever seen.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's the strangest looking dog I've ever seen.
You ain't seen him lately, have you, Pat? That other buttermilk? That buttermilk? I get some pictures. It looks like he's standing on broomsticks.
But he's got like clown shoes on because his feet are so big.
He's got like he would probably be the fastest marsh dog or swamp dog in the world.
He got some feet on him, huh?
He's got some feet, but he's got legs. And I'm talking about, and he's got a chest that's deep as any bird dog. He's the size of a small cur dog, and just, I mean, he's different. That's for sure.
Is he fast?
Oh yeah, he's fast. Yeah,
He's fast.
He's fast. Yeah, he's
That's
slick.
all they gotta be, son.
Yeah, that's the main thing is fast and put teeth on it, and he'll do it.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
when you get into dogs like that, that's got those personalities, like you said, you can kind of tell right off the bat, hey, this dog's gonna be something special. When you said you got that dog Hank. Now, are the other ones that you have, are they kind of in that same category, or are they a little different style, or?
Well, they're just younger. These are all of the dogs that I have are his offspring, And I've got pups all over in Alabama, and I believe that's where you're at, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, ma'am.
In Florida and Mississippi, Louisiana, and got one in Oregon. I've all kinds of different places, of course, here in Texas, and they're all doing extremely well. So my line of dogs are out there doing what they were bred to do, and I'm quite proud of that. Yeah.
Who'd you send to in Alabama?
I've got Jason Smith, and I've got Jacob Wilbanks.
Okay.
I don't know if you know them.
I was trying to think. They're blood trackers, right?
Yes, sir.
I thought so. I know the Jason Smith, know that name pretty well. And we're going to have, I say some friends of mine, they're doing, they have the Alabama Blood Trailing Network, and it's a Facebook group. And I mean, it's actually a really good deal that they got going. Everybody works together. And, you know, if it's a different county, you can just hop on there and somebody will say, hey, call Jason or whoever that's closest to you. They help each other out. They're not out there trying to take all the tracks or none of that. You know, like I said, they work together. And
yeah, so, I follow them on Facebook. I'm on that group.
Yeah, they're pretty good about that stuff. We deal with them, with most of those folks in there a good bit. Missy Grissom. I don't know if you know Missy. Yeah, they're having a Blood Trailers Network Day, I think in September. I think we're going to ride up there and check it out. They don't live too far from us, about maybe an hour.
Well, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and I'm going to holler. I think Jason, I'm pretty sure he's in that same group. If he is, I'll get up with him and meet and look at the dog and stuff and see what he's got, see how they look.
Absolutely, I'd love it if you did. He's real proud of her. This is going to be her second season. She didn't really get started until this year because they run into February. That's kind of you guys' rut, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, most of ours is February. We got, where is it, Nate? Winston County and up north of us a little bit. The rut is earlier because they imported deer from Michigan.
Yes.
Years ago, and I mean it's legit. Like where our hunting club's at, on one side of the interstate, the rut will come in the second week in January. On the other side of the interstate, it will come in the second week in February. It's
that's interesting.
Yeah, and I mean literally, it's just one road that separates. It's weird. I mean, I'm sure there's a little more diverse. It's a little more than that, but I've seen deer in full rut right after Christmas, just blowed up, just chasing does, and then talked to a buddy of mine, and he's right over here, and they don't have any sign of anything happening until February.
Ain't that something?
Mm-hmm. That's all them Yankee deer. That's what it is. That's some Yankee deer. But the deer's body will be bigger as well.
Yeah.
They'll be bigger body
I'm
deer
sure.
too.
Mm-hmm.
And when we started talking about making a more diverse podcast show for, something for everybody,
mm-hmm.
I thought of Miss Jaslan because her dogs are bred and not bought.
Yes.
Does that make sense? So, I mean, how you going to get somebody on here that they just go find a good dog and they just fork the money over?
That's right.
That ain't really what. Not saying there's nothing wrong with that, because you got to start somewhere. But like, if you want to be considered a dog man or a dog woman or whatever, in my book, is not the guy that's catching the most game, but the guy that's making the most dogs that catch game.
Yes.
That makes sense. I don't know.
It does to me.
It does.
I mean, they're the one. That's the people in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
That's having to put the most thought behind what they're doing. They have a program. I guess what I'm saying, if you're going to be considered a dog man, you need to have what you call a program, and we'll get into that more on these next few podcasts we do with the White Rig James and them coming up, and we're going to talk about the programs and Miss Jaslan's got a vision of what she wants to see, and sounds like to me, goddamn, she's doing it,
Yes.
Yes, sir. That's definitely why I said that's probably. I'm real proud of the dogs that I have bred and I've put out there. I've put them into trackers' hands, some new trackers that are just getting started, and people that have been doing it for a long time, like Jason Smith. I mean, he knows Lacey's, he knows tracking, and he was real proud to get a hold of one of my dogs, and he says that she's doing real well, and that's the kind of feedback and the work you want to see with these dogs that you're putting out there, you know.
Oh yeah.
They got to be able to do the job, and that definitely it makes my day. That's probably the highlight of my tracking is seeing all these pups do real good.
Mm-hmm. Now, how do you start your pups? Because like I said, now with them being versatile and being able to do multiple things, do you concentrate more on the blood trailing?
I do.
Tracking?
Okay. I do. That's my primary focus.
Okay. So
I'm
how
starting.
do you start them, and how do you work those pups?
I start them. I mean, there's studies that show that running your pregnant gyp during trailing season, that puppies can actually learn things in the womb. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about that. I hadn't studied it much, but there's quite a bit on it. So I mean, if I've got one that's bred at that time of the year, I've run one up until the weekend she had puppies.
Really?
Absolutely. And as soon as they're born, I'm putting deer legs in there. I'm putting pieces of hide in there. They're smelling that deer scent, blood. They're smelling that hair, and they're going to associate that smell with their mama as being a good thing. And that's how I start mine off, right off the bat.
In
the whelping box.
I concur with that, running a pregnant gyp. That's something that I guess I never really let get out. But that's not only is it old school, like.
Hey, we got a police chase going right now, boys. That's me and Nate were kind of getting. I'm listening to it. Can you hear it?
I hear that.
You should have heard.
I heard that.
Should have heard that Chevrolet come across them railroad tracks. That Chevrolet was moaning.
Oh, I hear it now.
I heard it. It made me put stuff under the couch.
Welcome to Jasper, Alabama, y'all.
Hey,
here he comes again. Look,
when I just say this, I stuffed some shit under the couch.
Did you stuff it under there? Hell yeah.
They're coming to get me talking about running them gators off.
That's it, yeah. Okay, sorry to get distracted on that, but Pat, you were saying that about the pregnant gyp?
Yeah, that's something that I heard that like all my life, like from old people. You know how we think, oh, some bitch don't know nothing,
Yes.
But Miss Jaslan says she's heard it like documented. She's read it somewhere or something. Sounds like something that's the most some bitches. They know more. They was more accurate than we were accurately judging them. I can promise you.
That's
well,
right.
like I said, I don't know anything about it to be factual, but it damn sure can't hurt, right?
That's
I mean,
right.
what are you possibly gonna hurt by it? I mean,
well, I mean, in that scenario, yeah. I mean, if you're letting them run, and which now. I don't know how much difference it really is between, because like even running deer, there's a potential for injury, just like it is in anything. I mean, a dog anything could happen. Like I said, we've had them fall off of bluffs and get hurt. Not even hunt. Just lose their footing or flip off the heel or whatever. So that would be the only thing that I would ever see. Be like, but myself, like you said, it's we hunted dogs till they were as big as a barrel, and I knew they were gonna. I was like, this dog's fixing to have puppies any day. And I don't know, the past couple of times I haven't run them at all, and that doesn't have anything to do with the hunting part of it. It's just it's been so hard for me to get a litter of puppies going the past few years. I don't know why. Any other time I would have had 40,000 puppies, but it seems when you really want them, it's like I can't get them going.
Okay. Well, me and Jaslan just had that conversation today. Tell us, Jaslan, what your daddy said about loving on a dog.
Look, he told me from an early age, he saw me out there loving on them dogs. He said, baby girl, he said, do not love these hunting dogs. He said, because it's going to be the first SOB to die on you.
Yep.
Now, I would say some bitch, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's how my
Well,
daddy talked.
Don't worry, go ahead and say it, but you just did.
That's right.
Well, that's just how he talked.
What?
And he's not wrong. I mean, that kind of applies to everything in life, does it not?
Yes. That's why.
I mean, that just seems the way Murphy's Law is. It's
Yes, ma'am. If somebody asked me which one of those puppies are mine, I said none of them. And,
That's right.
And literally, me and Rodney, we were at Logan Campbell's, and me, Rodney, and Nate, we went down there, was last week before last. And anyway, we hung out with them, and one of them was asking about a pup or asking about a dog that we had down there. And I was like, no, that's not my dog. And they're like, well, I thought you said it was. I said, well, it is, but it ain't. It's like, don't make no sense. I was like, well, if it's my dog and I claim it and I say, this is my dog and this dog is doing good and I love this dog, that you go ahead and bury that son of a bitch. You can bury him while he's shitting. I promise you, he is done.
The devil is busy. The devil is busy. Is all I'm gonna say.
That's
he's
exactly
gonna get
right.
some kind of new dog disease that just came out. It's guaranteed to happen. It's gonna be the most freak accident you've ever heard of in your life. Probably doing something stupid, no doubt.
Oh, without a doubt. I had a little mountain cur, and this little dog just turned, I mean, literally just one of those that when you get it, you know it's got it. And that was the first one in many years I said, well, this one's mine. The first time I went to Uncle Earl's, got a phone call. I said, oh, Lord, which one is it? And sure enough, it was my little brindle dog. And I still don't know how it happened. Like it was the craziest thing you've ever seen. Like you said, it could never happen again. You couldn't replicate it the way it twisted up.
He got his collar hung on the side of his chain stake.
Yeah, on the stake that his chain is on.
He got
the top of the collar got clipped. The collar got hung over the side of it.
I don't
it
know.
Wasn't even all the way over.
It's like he had to be scratching his head on it, I guess, because he wasn't tangled up. It was literally like his head was stuck on the stake, and he just choked himself to death. He had flipped over, and it just
it was the craziest shit you've ever seen.
It was ridiculous.
So after that, I was like, well, that's it for me.
Well, I hate that you know that from experience.
I could hug one. I could hug a dog and tell him I love him and walk off, and a goddamn meteorite or something would hit that son of a bitch between the eyes.
Yes.
I mean, it's just that way, you know. That's why I told her, I said, hell, if you see a dog on my yard and he's got a collar on, it ain't my collar. I picked it up somewhere. It ain't got my name and number.
Yeah.
And that's just like today I put on Facebook, a hog cut the name tag. You ever had them cut the name tag in too, but not the collar?
Yeah, I seen that.
You seen that?
Yeah, I seen
that sorry son of a bitch. That sorry son of a bitch ain't even got a wire mark on him. And a big mohawk done cut his goddamn name. You couldn't kill this shit-eating son of a bitch with anthrax.
I love it. That's what it is.
But he was chasing up today to get his damn name tag cut into. That's pretty good hog to do that.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Then the hog hit the water on me and we run a deer, so I'm pretty sure it was a deer.
Well,
I'm pretty sure it was a deer. I'm pretty sure it was a deer because it come right by me running ahead of the dog, so I'm pretty sure it was a deer.
Shit. We had a damn, I was trying to think who was with us. Mike Sapp was down from Michigan, and we had a deer come by us one day. And now I've seen deer skimp back running. But this, it scared everybody. Everybody was jumping out of the way because we thought it was going to run over one of us. But I have never seen a deer run that fast ever again in my life. I mean, that some bitch was a blur.
Oh, Mike Sapp got them hounds, so son, he punching him.
Oh, listen, Sapp got them hounds. I guarantee you, if Mike Sapp's feeding that some bitch, it's a dog.
Hey, he's got some from me before. Mm-hmm. I know what he's feeding.
I guarantee
so,
you.
He'll bust your ass if you ain't careful.
You damn right. He ain't scared to do it either. He'll throw him in the truck and drive.
Yeah, he's coming. He ain't barefooted. He got them Air Force Ones on, babe.
That's it. Lord have mercy.
Oh my gosh.
But that's what keeps it rolling. That's what keeps the hound, the the true houndsman alive is guys like that. You got to have those type of people in there. You got to have people like you, like Mike. You got to have them like Miss Jaslan. You got to have people like that have real dogs that do real shit and ain't scared to throw them in a box and go do it instead of just sitting on damn Facebook run your mouth. Which you do that too, Pat, you know. But still, you'll throw them in the box, though. I know that.
Hey, if y'all don't think I won't scratch.
I know that's what I said, but you will throw them in the box.
Oh, you shit, yeah, I will. But like this morning, I mean, here, I got a hog rooted 250 yards from these dogs. They should have winded the son of a bitch last night, you know. But hey, if I don't come outside, they act like it ain't shit down there. But I can step outside with a shotgun and go to load it, and they'll go to tree and squirrel. And and if I get up, you know, like get on the side by side or in my little Mahindra Jeep thing, they'll jump ahead of it, and they ain't hunting nothing but a hog or a deer. Yeah. You know, they know if I'm walking, they better not mess with no deer because I ain't dragging it.
Well, they know it's time to go to work. We had a guy he was selling a squirrel dog one time, and I called him, and it was old Kimmer dog. Dog name was Si. We went and got him. Went down there to check it out. I told Nate, I said, this will be a good little dog here. So we go down there, and I think he wanted $800 for him. He said he trees good. He was a year and a half, 2 years old, blah, blah, blah. Old dog was laid out there beside the porch. Hell, they were squirrels all over the yard right there. I was like, he ain't looking too sporty. Oh, the old guy come out there. He said, hold on just a second. Let me show you what he'll do. He opened the door, reached inside and grabbed that .22 rifle and shook it. He said, hey, Si, showed it to him. That son bitch struck out, son, and it wasn't, how long did it take him? About 30 seconds. He was treating a squirrel in that guy's yard. He was burning him up. He said, you just got to show him what he needs to do.
Yeah, and it's true.
Yeah. But he had a handle on that dog. And I mean, we hunted him. Well, hell, old Pete hunted him more than we did for a while.
Yeah.
And but like you said,
I didn't have no driver's license at that time, so
yeah,
I was only so many places I could walk.
Yeah, we let a young boy have him that was just getting started out.
Yeah,
Nate done got. I think you graduating high school. Right,
you should have bred him to a running hound. Is what you should have did and kept him.
Yeah, that's what we were talking. Rusty, make sure that's what he's telling me yesterday. He's like, you need to breed one of them cur dogs to a hound. That's all he keeps telling me. Rusty said that now. So, but now see, I might have to breed one to a Lacey. Might have to try that. I see, ain't nobody doing that. So you see what I'm saying, Miss Jaslan?
Yes, sir, I do.
Might have to talk to you about old Hank. Nathan's over here shaking his head. He's like,
we
"Oh
don't
Lord,
need no more dogs."
Nate said, "We don't need no more dogs.
We don't need no more dogs."
Hank is a good dog. He's laid back. He minds, but when it's time to go to work,
he gets busy.
He knows. I can't walk out this house with a gun. Yeah, if I start loading up my truck, they know tracking season's coming. They see me putting all my gear in. They already know at that time of the year I can't walk out the door without 7 dogs sitting there wanting to know who's getting chosen to go load up in the box.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Hank will be a hog too. I've seen it.
That's what I was just fixing to ask on hogs. That when are they real rough? Or they bay pretty good? Or are they open on track or trail silent or cold
Lacys
nose?
are bay dogs. They're not known for having much of a cold nose, but Hank has a lot more of a hound personality with a colder nose than typical of most Lacys. That's what I've noticed about him. They are quiet. The only time they open, they'll yip a little bit when they hit a hot track or they bumped up a deer. They're silent on track. But if they hit a hot line, they know it's alive, or they bump one up, they'll let out a yip or two, and that's when I know it's time to get going. Or I'll watch it and I can see it on my GPS. I'm watching my Garmin, and I can see how they're moving. Whether we're fixing to jump one up, I'll tell everybody, all right, be quiet. And they're like, what? And I go, just hang on. Everybody be quiet. Just listen. And then you'll hear them. And I said, it's time to get moving. Let's go. And they're like, that's my deer? Well, maybe they're on a hog. I said, no, sir, that's your deer. He's alive? I said, yeah. I said, I said, just let's get going. We got to catch up to him. And they're, what do you mean he's alive? I'm like, hey, just hold tight. We're fixing to show you what you're looking at.
Here, but now you sound like you're really nice to him. A lot of times, what I tell him is, yeah, he's alive. You can't shoot worth a shit, or something like, quit giving your grandson at 6 years old a 300 Win Mag to shoot.
Now, look, Joey, I don't have to say that because the other guys in the hunting party
they already do
are going. Look, they are going to rag the hunter so bad. I almost kind of feel sorry for him.
Oh, my goodness. Well, at least somebody's staying on it.
After I shoot their buck, they go, you had to call a girl to come kill your deer.
Hell yeah.
She only needed one shot to put him down. And so I don't have to say those things. Well, the poor guy's friends just tear him up.
I don't see how they sit in that shooting house or in a tree stand doing that. I mean, if that thing's got dogs behind it and he's booking about 30 and you swing that BAR through there, that 270 barks about one, maybe two times. You hit him right in that neck where that shoulder meets. He ain't going nowhere.
That's right.
You ever seen that happen, Pat? I plead the fourth and the fifth.
I've seen it 43 times in 26 days before.
I know.
That's the honest number, too. That's the truth.
Probably with the same thing I just described, too, wouldn't it?
Oh, pretty much, yeah. Depending on where I'm at, like, if I'm compromised, I'll step back about 3 ribs so it can get out of the off the government lands.
That's right.
Some people call it a highway.
Yeah. that way he'll go 40 or 50.
Right. Now, like South Carolina stuff, when I first went out there, I about broke my neck, and the game warden was laughing. He said, son, I'm about to quit driving past you. You're going to hurt yourself. Because it's legal to shoot out the damn road, you know?
Yeah, hell, they'll be out there stop. They'll flag traffic down.
Hey, man, yeah, it's a really good thing. But, hey, look, while we're on the subject of Miss Jaslan ragging them and all that, hey, she is single. And it's Double D Lacys for a reason. I can promise you. Everything is anatomically correct. Yeah, now we are getting the soft version of this lady. So she's
using proper etiquette.
I'm going to say y'all some pain. Like if y'all soft, don't call this lady and try to get a date.
There you go.
Now look, I already told you don't be talking about all that. You're gonna make me blush.
Doghuntersonly.com.
Look, I'm gonna change.
Hey, Joey, don't think she won't tell him like a cow eat the cabbage. Yeah. She will tell him. She will tell the truth, not a truth.
Yeah,
she's will tell the. Yeah, so any of you guys like, they're going to look her up. They're going to look at this picture and say, well, I'm going to send her a message. Hey, and she's liable to get what the fuck you want back. I'm telling you, I know.
You're probably not wrong there. I'm nice, but I am matter of fact, and I am honest.
We can't beat honesty. Can't beat honesty.
But look, so somebody just has to be honest and matter of fact, and that's definitely who I am. But I'm gonna change the subject on you. Now I'm gonna go back to not all these shots that we get called out for are bad shots. So let's clarify that. Sometimes there's people that shoot one and there's just no blood trail.
Yeah.
They don't have anything to follow. So and we get, that's a large majority of the calls we get. They go, we just can't find no sign. And they say, but I know I hit it. I know I made a good shot. And they did. Mm-hmm. They just, for whatever reason, whatever gun or caliber ammo they're using, it just doesn't leave a blood trail.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's.
Yeah. Mostly it's poor bullet choice.
Yeah.
Like the bullet's too hard. Today you got a lot of monolithic or gilded metals. And so, the old bullets we shot had a lead core with a copper jacket and a mushroom back. Nowadays, you got all this long range. Hell, kids are shooting deer at 800 yards with these bullets, Yep. So they're designed though. So if that deer's like real close or whatever, and you don't hit no bone, no sure enough bone, that bullet it's a monolithic metal. It don't open up. It don't expand. I mean,
yeah.
But so, So they can't find no sign. And 100% of the time, a mature whitetail buck will go back the way he come if you shoot him good. He ain't gonna go on the cross. He's gonna go back the way he come because he feels safe right there. And they're gonna say, no, he went this way, and your dog's going the other. You know, all he took was a backtrack. I said, just shut the fuck up and hold on a minute. Well, after you go a little ways, then you'll start finding sign.
Absolutely.
They can't find sign because they're looking in the wrong direction most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to trust your dog.
Without
100%.
He don't know how to lie.
Yeah, I don't ever interfere with my dogs. I just let them go to work. When I show up to a track, I tell them, take me to the hit site. My dogs are already doing their business. I'm not even talking to them. They've already peeled out at this point. I'm just listening to the hunter, and I'll say, take me to whatever last sign you have, if you have it. And I'm watching the GPS, see what the dogs are doing. And that's it. I'm not messing with those dogs. I'm just seeing what they're doing, and I'm listening to the hunter.
If you're messing with that dog, you fucking him up.
Yes.
That's right. 100%. I just let them go to work. I don't, they can tell me the deer went this way. Example of that was, a young lady, she had shot at a doe. Well, there was another doe that was behind it, and she'd accidentally clipped the doe behind it. So they had a blood trail going somewhere, and my dogs, that wasn't the direction the dogs was wanting to go. And they said, well, the blood's this way. And I said, yes, sir, I understand. I said, but my dogs is going that way. I said, so, I said, I'll walk over here with you. We'll go look. And it wasn't 100 yards. It shows them treed. I said, well, the dogs are treed. I said, let's go back over here. Well, I said, well, they're on something. Let's just go see what they got. And they had a doe. And he said, well, how come there's this other blood trail? And I said, well, I'm not sure. Was there another deer? Or, yeah, there was some other does. And I said, well, I'll make them come over here and check it. I said, but, that's just an example of sometimes it's not always what you think it is.
Yes, 100%. Like, half the time, I don't blood trail anymore. I won't even hardly, y'all all know I was in a bad accident one time doing that, so I don't do it no more, but I probably found 200 or 300. So half the time, you're right. They don't even know which way the deer left there.
I mean, they mean well. They just didn't think about it.
Well, they got excited.
Yeah, they just didn't think about it that the deer that they shot was facing to the left, and the deer that ran off to the right. Typically speaking, the deer, whatever which way it's facing, is the direction it's going to take off. I'm not saying they can't turn around, spin around, and take off a different direction, but they don't typically do that.
Yeah, those don't, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just go on peel out the way that they were standing.
Yeah.
Now, but when you got something like that happens in Texas, now, like I said, I know every state's going to be a little different and all that. When somebody calls you out, do you have to track on lead or can you track off leash with a Garmin?
I primarily track off lead. Now, what I was telling you earlier about these few counties over here that were prior to 2020, it was illegal. Those, now that they've legalized them, those are counties that you're supposed to track on lead.
Mm-hmm.
And so my dog, Hank, I've got him trained for an on-lead dog. And it's not just those counties, but it could be a small property, someone's backyard that they shot a deer, and, you don't really want to let your dogs loose because you don't have the room to let them run,
yes, ma'am.
Private property or whatever. So while I primarily run off lead, I've got a dog that I can put him on a lead, and we can take just about any kind of call.
Okay. Yeah, that works good. Cause like I said, I know that's an ongoing thing in several different places that, there's, and I know some guys that.
There's a lot of guys who will not take a track on a small property because they do not have their dogs trained to work on a lead.
To run on lead. Okay.
Yes, sir. Correct. And so that's a small advantage that I have over other trackers that'll turn a track down because, they're like, no, we don't have the room to run my dogs.
Now, do y'all, or can y'all accept payment where you're at?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
I was just curious because I know there's, just like I said, it's different everywhere. You can take a donation, in some places, but you can't charge for your services.
Yeah, a lot of the
Texas
states
is pretty much mandatory. In Texas, it's mandatory.
In Texas, everybody charges. That's it's kind of just the way it is. If you're not good enough to charge, then you probably, if you're getting started out, you're not going to be taking any payment. You tell them, hey, I'm just getting started out. But,
yes, getting the tracks in, getting your name out there.
Absolutely, you don't want to charge, but it's pretty much customary for a proven tracker. He's going to charge in this area, in all of Texas. Now, speaking of another advantage I have, I've got 3 sets of tracking dogs. So I've got my most experienced dogs that are running whitetail and exotics. But I've also got some young dogs that just got started last year. So if you've got somebody who's going to give you, well, it's just a doe, or, but we'd like to get it, we need the meat, or whatever have you, and they don't really want to pay a whole lot, or they maybe can't afford to pay a whole lot, we're not going to turn anybody down.
That's right.
I'll bring these young dogs.
Especially if it's close to the house.
Absolutely. I'll bring these young dogs, give them an opportunity to get some work and help somebody out. So it's a win-win for both of us. So you don't have to call somebody who just started tracking yesterday. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I've got dogs for that too. Yep. So you get the experience of somebody who's got a lot of experience. And I've got the good dogs to back it up. If we need some help and we got to make it happen, then I'll pull a better dog out.
There you go. I seen a post the other day, young man, he's got a pretty good dog, but he's just getting started. And he was putting himself out there. It was on Facebook, and a very seasoned tracker came on there and was telling him, he's like, he said, hey, he said, I recommend just, getting with some of the guys that's been doing this for a long time. And, we'll network with you and just, go with them and run some tracks. And the guy come on there and he was like, well, I got a good dog. He said, you can come watch him run the track. He said, he's as good as any dog there is. And he just wasn't getting what he was saying. He was like, I don't need any help from that. And, there was 2 or 3 people that were being nice to him. And I just, I made my little claim on there. I probably should have stayed out of it, but that's what I was telling him. I said, you cannot, I don't care if you gave $20,000 for a fucking dog or $50,000. You cannot buy experience.
Really?
If you're not going to be humble, then those dogs are going to humble you real quick.
Oh, I guarantee you that.
Everybody already knows that the second you say that that's not what they're going to do, they're going to go out there and make the biggest ass out of you. We all know it, right?
I'll buy his dog pretty cheap around January, February.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that's just like the conversation we had earlier. See, you could take the same dude and switch dogs with this other person over here.
Yep.
And that other dog is going to be a world champion. And the other one ain't. Yep. And then vice versa, switch them back, and the other dog's going to be a world champion. It goes down the leash. It goes down the leash.
Dog, I agree with you 100%. I mean, dogs are dogs, but it's also a handler. I mean, you've got to know your dogs. And I could give somebody my Hank, and anybody could probably just about run him, and they're going to come out all right. But I know my dog. I know what he's telling me. I have spent the time in the woods with him to know what's going on. It's a team effort. You can't just go and pick up a dog and you're going to go out there and be successful. You've got to work these dogs. You've got to spend time with them in the woods. You got to learn them. I mean, you got to
put your hands on them.
Absolutely.
And I don't mean beat the hell out of them, but no. Well, I tried to drill that into my sons when, they got old enough to start taking care of dogs on the yard. Of course, at 12, 13 years old, they're going feeding and water, and they just walk by and, throw a little feed in the bowl, put some water in the bucket. I was like, no, you gotta touch it. You gotta put your hands on them. You gotta look at them. You know what I'm saying? You got to put, and now Nate, he's a young man and he takes care of all the stuff, and he can tell you, from can to can't, from end to ain't on every dog on the yard, what it's doing, how it's doing. And that's why, because you got to put your hands on it. Like I said, you get these other little guys out here, now they could come buy a dog. They could buy a dog, or we could give them a dog. Nate could tell him exactly what to do with it. That still does not mean that that's going to work for him.
That's right.
It does not mean that, and there's so many guys out here, and there's several that I know personally, and it doesn't mean that they're not necessarily young either. They'll get a dog from somebody else that's 5, 6 years old and take that son of a bitch that same day and try to hunt it, and don't know nothing about the dog. And the dog don't know nothing about them. Now, true enough, there's some dogs that don't make a shit. They're going to go.
Yeah.
But do you know what it's doing when it's gone?
Absolutely.
You don't know what it's doing. That's a scary thing to me.
Yeah, you get a lot of these guys right before tracking season. It never fails. I'm looking for a trained dog, and they just think it's going to go out there and it's just going to go to work, and that's all there is to it. Mm-hmm. We put a lot of work into what we're doing. I've had to prove myself. I didn't just nobody paid me any, never mind when I got started, which didn't bother me none because I'm going to go to work and I do what I need to do. But it took me several years before I started getting any recognition from these top trackers here in Texas. Before they started putting me on a list and acknowledging what I have to offer.
This is kind of off subject, but I'm going to tell y'all a story a man told me.
All right.
It's about a horse, but it's the same damn thing y'all talking about. Mm-hmm. And this is on the highest level. Shad Mayfield, world champion PRCA tie down kennel.
I know.
Buys this mare. Hates this bitch. Cannot get along with her, can't, and never gonna be able to. Tries to get his money back and can't. So I don't know if y'all ever been around people that buy PRCA horses, but we talking about 6 figures, Yeah. I mean, most probably, if not, over 50, or 60, 70,000. So he says, I got all this money and I got to make this work. So what does he do? He starts handling this bitch every day. Yep. If he ain't doing nothing but skidding a log with her, he's doing it. He's loving on her. And she falls in love with him. And he wins the world off of her.
Really?
The next year. The next year.
That sounds like you giving marriage advice now.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
You see what I'm saying?
I should have done that a long time ago.
But that's what y'all saying about these dogs.
No, it's true.
He's touching her. He's touching this bitch every day. But here's what he's doing, and it's the same way with a relationship between a man and a woman. He starts making it fun for her.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, you're right. 100%.
You understand?
I'll tell you something that goes hand in hand, and you gave me an insight right here, Pat, and probably just saved a boy a good dog. His name is Austin Marsh, and I know Austin's going to listen to this. He's got a dog named Batman. He's got another one named Popcorn. Popcorn is phenomenal. And he does blood trailing. That's all he does. But Batman is a great dog. He's just a few years up. We said 3, I think. 3 years old, and is found 60 or 70 head with him. But he will not listen. Like, he just does not have a handle. But the dog has everything else. And so that's what I was asking him. I was like, well, how do you work him? How do you do this? He's like, well, he just gets aggravated. And he says, I just get Popcorn. And I tried to tell him, I was like, well, maybe it's just not your dog. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what he's doing. That right there is what he needs to do. What you just said. He needs to put he needs to put Popcorn up, his real good dog.
Forget about him
because he knows what to do. Popcorn is the man. Mm-hmm. Now take Batman and love on him and make him enjoy it. Make it fun for him. Because he's a Kimmer dog and he's high strung.
Imagine that son of a bitch being hard headed. Cool.
Yeah, ain't no doubt. And honestly, I was to the point. This just happened this past week when I talked with him. That I was going to take the dog and work with him some, or either that or I was going to take the dog and run him myself. But I think if he'll do that, and I'm going to call and tell him, I think that right there, honestly, and I feel kind of bad because I should have had that in my mind, but I wasn't even thinking about that.
Okay, so did you see the video I posted about everybody after my Daisy deal, and then I I posted the video of me working her and that was actually a hog in that time. I didn't know, but it was a show they pulled it into. I'm not putting that shit on Facebook, but every morning we have the same ritual.
Mm-hmm.
You see me how I fed her?
Yep.
I made her sit there, but she gets a reward. It's fun for her. It's like me and her's on a date,
Yeah.
Every morning we hang out. I pet her and I cook her breakfast and I feed her whatever the hell I'm eating usually.
Yeah.
And but I make her sit there and I might let her get 2 or 3 bites and I'll make her back up,
Mm-hmm.
and sit there but I'll always add something to the plate when I do it, something special, like an extra piece of sausage, something meaty, because they carnivore, they carnivore. Right.
I like how you use the word reward, because we was talking earlier about you can't love your hunting dog, but reward is a much better word for it.
That's right.
I like that. I like that you said that, because that's the truth. When I know my dogs, I've seen, on the GPS, they've treed. I take my time getting over there. I already know they're on the deer. I'm not rushing in there. I want my dogs to get them a little bite, pull some hair off, and enjoy themselves. Mm-hmm. It's not going anywhere, so I don't rush in there. It's reward. I care about my dogs, and they got to have reward.
That's right. I don't blame them. I like to pull a little hair myself every now and then.
Oh, my goodness.
Miss Jaslan, what do you think about that? I was talking about that dog Austin has. Just what do you think he should do on that part? Just like you said, just hang with it.
Yeah, he's got to quit pulling popcorn out, because that dog is not going to live to his full potential, because he's not giving him the opportunity. He's not showing him, hey, I'm here for you. We're a team effort. He got to go in there and love on that dog. And you said he's a little high strung.
Hey,
hard-headed.
That dog thinks he's a side chick.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you get an attitude.
I mean, your side chick don't get an attitude.
I don't have one. I don't have one.
I don't have any side chick.
I don't have one. I don't even like the main one. I don't even like the one I'm married to. She don't like me either, so we get along fucking great.
Joey, you can't say too much, hon.
Listen, that's what I said. Me and her, we have a great relationship. Like, all we do is fight and argue, and we both love it.
Wins.
Yes, we love it. She wins all the time. And I get to go hunting. Anytime I want to go hunting, she never complains about it. As a matter of fact, she's like, are you going hunting today? I'm like, well, I wasn't going to. She wants you to just go hunting. I was like, okay. Is that so your boyfriend can come over? She was like, well, it might be. If you get the fuck out of here, you'll know. I was like, hell yeah, I get to go. But you know what I'm saying?
Your wife sounds like my kind of person I'd like to hang out with. Listen, I like her already.
She has always had problems getting along with a lot of women. All joking aside,
I can relate.
And that's what I think. Say, and I've told her, I was like, listen, most of the women that I meet that handle dogs and stuff, they're not all these little petite, dainty princess type women. They're women. They're actual women, and they don't put up with a lot of bullshit. And she definitely doesn't either.
Absolutely not. I
mean, when I met her, she was running a bar, and she would. I mean, if they needed a bouncer, she was the bouncer. And that's a truth. That is the truth. Like, I seen her get some bitch in a full Nelson and make him hit his knees. I was like, God Almighty, give me some of that. And so I got drunk and belligerent. She took me home.
The rest was history.
Yeah, 20 years later, I just ain't drunk. I'm still belligerent as hell, though.
Well, some of you boys, y'all like us a little wild with a little fight and bite in us. Y'all don't like the too tame.
That's it.
Well, there's a lot of difference in a woman and a queen.
That's right.
Think about that for a minute. But that's what's wrong with old Batman. He's a side chick, and he knows it, and he don't like it. That's why he shows out. The side chick's always the one beating the hell out of your car, and asking for a friend, spray painting your car.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy of an analogy as it is. It makes sense. You're not wrong.
All right, Austin, I know you're going to be listening to this, and if you're not, then don't ever talk to me again. So there's your advice, buddy.
You got to love on that old dog.
There you go.
Give Batman some loving.
And I'm going to tell you that's I'm not going to say that he doesn't, because Austin loves his dogs. He's honestly, he's a little bit different. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got certain dogs that we like you got Daisy. She stays in the house and she's your baby and that's your buddy, but she's your main chick. Austin's like that with his dogs too, but he's only got, I think, 2 or maybe 3 dogs total. He's not like us. We got 7, 10, 20, 40 dogs, whatever. And so he keeps them like they're almost babied. If and I don't mean in a bad way, because like I said, he's like, he really takes care of them. So it's not the fact that he doesn't. I just don't want other people to draw conclusions saying, well, it's like he ain't giving it no attention. But
surely nobody would think that's not what we meant.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. And that's why I'm saying that, because like he's such a good guy. I think a lot of it is Austin's demeanor. Like you said, and I told him, I was like, it goes down that leash.
Austin's first thing he needs to do is quit getting aggravated.
Yes.
He needs to give the dog the opportunity. Maybe that was the wrong word. Opportunity to do the job, finish the job, and work with him more on trying to complete the job versus just saying, well, I'm getting aggravated, I'm getting frustrated. Because the dog knows that. They feel that. Like you said, he runs down the leash.
That's right.
That's what we're saying.
Yep.
That's what we mean.
I mean, how can you let something aggravate you that I eat shit and screw its mama? She was able to do anything, man. So I mean,
but
it
still happens. God,
it still happens, though. God Almighty.
I've had one this past year that really, really knows how to get under my skin. Sadie the Bull Terrier. Mm-hmm. Man, I have wanted to choke slam that dog many a times.
Yeah,
and gotten very close to doing it. I'd be like, do this, and she'd do it perfect. Like once, I'd be like, all right, second time, she might just do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, dog.
So like some of them women I've married.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be like, let's hang out. And she's like, don't touch me. I don't even like you. And I go clip her up on the chain. She's like, why aren't you petting me?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm finna choke you, dog. I'm finna choke you, dog.
And there's some dogs, you got to got to have a little bit of stern handle on them, I've had a few of those in the past years that I'm not saying you got to smack them around or nothing, but they want to play rough. They want to have something that makes them go. You got to like drive,
Make it fun for them. It fun for them. That's how everybody says you a player. I don't play. I'm serious.
That's right.
I mean, shit. I'm straight catch.
Mm-hmm.
But I had one other night at the club. I was dancing, having a great time. I hadn't been dancing in quite a while, and she told me, she said, if I had a ring, I'd propose to you. I thought to myself, I'm gonna faint. I got weak knees. But anyway, she said, it's only because you're so much fun.
Yeah.
So that if that dog sees you coming and knows he's fixing to have fun, he's going to be like more into you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to come over there and be a dick to him, hey, look, you tie a dog on the end of the porch and you walk by and kick him every day, don't get mad about that fifth day. That son of a bitch bites you when he sees you come.
Exactly.
Look, all these guys out here trolling with their old ladies, they don't need marriage counseling. They just need to listen to this podcast because this is some good advice.
It's the truth.
From a woman's perspective, I'm liking what y'all are talking about. If we
George Strait said it best. You got a baby, your baby, nigga. Shut up.
That's right.
That's right.
So you got to do it with a dog, with a horse. Shad Maker. I mean, he is the elite.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the Pope of calf roping. I mean, and he's like, I hated this bitch, and I just worked with her. And then when I finally realized, hey, she's doing good. He looked, and when he's tying the calf, he looks back at her, and she's like just working her lip, at him like just like she's into him. She's focused. She ain't doing that stupid shit,
So mayor for you, hard headed, but if you get one, I'm going for you.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what, I ride a mare, and because I do it, when them highbrow, look, nobody don't send me no hate mail because I ain't gonna read it no way. But when them highbrow house cats go down in the mud in the swamp down here on these March cows and stuff, it's got them old mare, this hell bitch, Hancock. She's still biting them in the ass like a bulldog, trying to make them get up the hill.
That's right.
It's just that way.
Do y'all hunt? Do you
a
hunt
lot of
off
people
horses?
can't ride a mare.
Do you hunt off horses?
I don't. I don't ride. My horses are retired, so I hadn't been doing any riding. But I absolutely love to ride. Dogs and horses, it isn't much difference as far as training goes. They're pretty much the same, in my opinion.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd love to do some riding.
Yeah, I took Alicia. I guess we'll talk about that on the next podcast. We rode horses. I don't know why. I had 4 vehicles with internal combustion engines with air conditioners in them sitting right here. But she wanted to hunt like old school off the horses. I said, okay. And, she rides good, so it worked out okay. But, all
the shit I've done,
more into that.
I've never hunted off horses.
Not hog hunting. Come out hunt. It's fun.
I've coon hunted off of horses and coon hunted off of mule.
Yeah, I can ride the hell out of a horse. There ain't a horse I can't ride.
Well, there's probably a bunch of horses that I can't ride worth the shit because, I don't know.
I got some you can ride. I promise you can ride.
Jesus Christ.
You can get close to the bay. You can just get close to the bay without breaking it. Them 4-wheelers, them side-by-sides, people break their bay. People say, hey, bro, no shit. You pulled up 100 yards of it.
Yes, Lord. That's the. Hey, do you have to deal with that, Miss Jaslan, on getting too close to the deer or anything like that? Do they break and stuff on you?
Absolutely. Depending on what kind of shot, how that deer is shot, what kind of wound it is, and I already have an idea based on the whatever kind of evidence we had at the hit site. I've got a real good indication going in what kind of track we're looking at. I can also tell by how my dogs peel off from the hit site. If they're working out and they're going out slow, that's more than likely a dead deer. When it's alive, they hit the ground. I let them off the truck, the buggy, whatever we're in, and they're gone. They hit that, they already know it's alive. And they are just slap gone. He's like, damn it, them dogs just peel out of here. I'm like, I already know. I'm just waiting for them to light up and start baying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they do. They break bay sometimes 2-3 times. Like I said, just depending on how they're hit and and they're smart too. They'll see you coming if you're not getting in there sneaky, which I already know. If those dogs they're barking rapid and fast. They're just really, really. I know that deer's lively. I tell the hunters, hey, y'all fall back, and I'm gonna go in there by myself, so I can sneak in there and get a shot on it. Because you get everybody, too many people in there, that deer's gone.
Yeah, it's gonna go again.
100%.
Yeah, and typically they'll break, they'll go 200-400 yards. You may have to get them again, but usually by that third time, if you hadn't got it, that deer's gonna be gone. Or you might have run out of property, so you don't want to take a whole lot of chance with that.
I got you.
Yeah, but your dogs will put their mouth on one though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they'll plant the ivory.
Yeah, that little red jip I have, Tasso, she's my other main dog that runs with Hank. That's my top team, and that's what she's good at. She goes in there and she grabs hold of the back of that deer's leg. I've seen her hanging off of them. She gonna get one to turn around and acknowledge that she's saying, hey, MFer, slow down and turn around. And by that time, speaking of horses, it's like cutting horses. Hank is the head dog and she's the heel dog.
Okay.
And so he gets off in the front, and by the time that buck, whatever, turns around, well, he's got Hank in his face. So he's got one on the back, one on the front, and that's how they work with one another. Keep that buck.
You see, that's why I disagree with the bay pen. I do it, and they got their rules, and you have to follow them. But a bay should be in a circular motion.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be against that wall. And they should be going round and around. If you ever use dogs like catching cattle, I mean, they go round and around, and they bunch them cows in a circle, and they just go round and around and around and around.
That way it can't move any
That's
direction.
the natural way.
It can't move any direction, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, they're working with one another, and these two dogs that I have, they know how tight or how loose to be. So when the deer are breaking, you were asking about breaking, they know how to work to one. They know how to do their job. So as long as I'm coming in there quiet and I'm doing what I got to do, we're gonna get it done.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
What's the longest track that you've ran? And please don't tell them. Don't lie. Just don't lie. I know you're gonna tell the truth, but listen. I will get hate mail, like Pat says. I really don't read it anyway. And then there's people gonna call me and they're gonna comment on all my shit. And what's the oldest track that you've had? Also, that you feel that your dogs could take.
Oldest.
That you think the dogs would take. But what's
I don't know
the
about
longest
the oldest,
track?
but it's not any big deal. The longer I like for the track to be older. The older it is, to me, the easier it is for me to read my dogs versus one that's only a couple hours. So it ain't no big deal to let it sit overnight, go the next day. I mean, it was shot that morning. We went the next day that evening. That's not any problem whatsoever.
So 30 hours.
30 hours, guys.
Yeah,
30 plus hours.
That's not a big deal. That's pretty standard.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
You get into 36 hours, 40 hours, then you start pushing whatever's going on.
Well, me and Kyle Talbert, we were talking about it. Kyle's a very experienced blood tracker. He's got some really good dogs. And that's what he made the comment. He was like, yeah, 36 to 48 hours. He said, that's not uncommon. And, and listen, it's crazy because like Kyle has hunted with us before and it just popped out of my mouth. I said, and I didn't know he was even a preacher until we started that show. But now keep in mind, I've already known him and my dumb ass didn't pay no attention. And I said, holy shit, preacher. I said, 36 to 48 hours. He's like, yeah. And then there was quite a few people. They were like, that's bullshit. I'm like, look, guys, this is different. I was like, I know for a fact we took Nathan's little Kimmer dog on a 20-hour track and he ran it. And look, I did the ultimate rookie shit. I said, the deer went this way. And the dog wanted to go this way. I said, the deer went this. I followed the damn blood trail. I followed every bit of it. And then I lost it. And Nathan, I got frustrated. The dog's over here. I go get in the truck, come back, Nathan, and he's like, yeah, he's got it right over here.
You know what I did? I said, I can't find it. I'm going to let the dog do what he does.
Trust your dog.
And then I was like, man, he's been treed over there for a while. And it was like.
He's over chewing on it.
Yeah, the coyotes then stripped it down to the spine and the head.
But it was 20 hours. He has never tracked a deer. He's never seen a deer.
Never seen a deer. Never showed him a mock. Nothing. Not a deer leg.
We just said, hell, let's give it a try.
I was like.
So 30 hours, yes, I could see that without a doubt.
With some experience.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And as far as the longest track, the longest one we ever did was a little over 4.5 miles. The deer was actually still alive. And you were talking about people coming from you. Let me be clear. My dogs are trained to track wounded deer only. Mm-hmm. They know whether the deer is dead, dying, or going to live and alive and well.
Yep.
So we're not just out there just running deer. That's not what we do. That's not at all what we do. When the deer's going to live, they come back to me and Picasso will sit down. She'll look me straight up in the face. Hank will come back. Same thing. He'll take a look at me. He'll start rolling around, scratching his back or start peeing on stuff, you know. And I know it's time to wrap it up. It's time to go home. But that was the longest track that we ever did. And it was, speaking of time, it was one of those that was shot that morning. We couldn't go out there to the following evening because it was too hot. It was archery season. And the deer was still alive. He just had traveled that far before he bedded down. And that's just so happened, you know, how far he'd went. But
now now on those for some of the listeners and stuff out there that don't know the difference or how a dog can tell the difference, whether a deer is injured, dead, or alive. Can you explain that some?
Yeah. Think of it like, humans, we all have fingerprints and they're individual to each person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, deer is very similar. They have a fingerprint of scent when they're walking through the woods that is individual to each deer. And when they're hurt, they also put off a pheromone, a wounded pheromone. And that's what my dogs are trained to do, is to know whether they're hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll put off that scent as they're walking. They're putting off that hurt pheromone scent. And that's what the dog is smelling.
Exactly. Okay. And I try to explain that every chance I get, because we say blood trailing or blood tracking, and we use that so loosely. It's the blood is not the biggest factor.
No, it's called the interdigital gland. It's a waxy substance. It's in between the deer's hoof.
It tastes
and
good.
When I don't know about all that.
Oh, listen,
I ain't tasted it, but
I'm telling y'all, you got to take your pocket knife, scrape you some up. Yes. Pat, you've done it.
What?
It's good.
I'll tell you what I have done.
Don't do that shit.
Oh, looks like some old ear cheese
Yeah,
or something.
don't eat that shit. Don't do that. Don't listen to me. That's a lie.
I do know the pheromone deal to be true, because I probably down $5 million cash on them pheromones get you into trouble.
Yeah, you've been tracking them a while. There you go.
Them pheromones is powerful, son.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, but yeah, I mean that's the simple way to explain it is that they have their own individual scent, and so when you've got multiple deer that are shot, that were there at the feeder when you shoot one, and the dog, he's not going to pay any attention to the other deer that were there. They don't even smell those deer, because those are healthy live deer.
Mm-hmm.
They smell that one that's hurt, that's been shot by that scent.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like I said, that we try to put stuff out like that, because there's a lot of people that, like you said, they got questions, but and a lot of them, they don't want to ask, because they're like, well, I don't want to sound like a dumbass, because I don't know. You can't help it if you don't know something. But I mean, if we offer it, and hey, maybe it'll help somebody in the long run.
Well, yeah, we definitely want people to know that there's a difference, and that my dogs are trained to find that deer that has been shot, that's been wounded, that's hurt, and if he's only been nicked, I mean, Hank, he's got a solid reputation for calling tracks. So a lot of hunters will ask me, well, how do we know when this is over? I said, it's over when my dog comes back and tells me it's over. I don't call tracks. My dogs call tracks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're trained to do.
Let him do his job.
Absolutely. And you were talking about how far we go. If my dogs are going, we're going. I don't ever tell them short of property lines or something like that, roads, some kind of dangerous situation that I've got to call my dogs back. I don't ever call. If they're going, we're going. We're following that dog no matter where he goes. If we're out there for however long, well, it is what it is. Because that's what I brought them out there to do, was their job.
I know dogs will do like individual things like that. I had a date yesterday, and I got 7 son bitches running loose that'll bite your ass. So I'm watching for her to pull up, because I don't want the dogs to bite her. And so she's been coming up for about a month, okay, or thereabouts, probably a month. And dogs ain't barked a lick. I hear a car door slam. I'm like, oh, shit. So I wait for the door. I look, and these bastards is all laying around in the sand, ain't even picked their heads up. And she walks right through them. I said, I want to kill all you son of a bitches.
Uh-huh. So they
see,
already know.
Yes. They know before I know she was okay, see.
They know something you don't know. You might want to hang on to that one for a little bit.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to hang on to her till she kicks me loose.
That's right.
Like a tick. I'm going to hang on to somebody picks me off. You know what I'm saying?
And the dog knows, trust the dog.
Ain't no doubt about it. And and y'all know my dogs. They dogs.
Yes. I know some of them that will.
I mean, I can't.
I've seen them bite you. I've seen the son of a bitch bite you.
Bite me. If I slip up on him and then sleep, I'm talking to that son of a bitch. I don't want him to, because he'll wake up and grab me before. So, and I started, every time I get the door open, she's already walking up on the porch, and she done walked through 7 mean son of bitches.
My dogs are well handled, but you're not getting out of your vehicle if I'm not outside. That's not happening.
That's what
if I do, what does that mean?
If you can get out, and I said, one of my kids' sons, a friend, I call him, he's like another son to me. He come over here. We're not home. He can get whatever he wants to get. They don't bother him, but he is one of the best kids. I mean, I'd love to say he is mine because he's a real good kid. He's got a lot going on for him, but dogs, they know. They know.
And they know that game. Just like you said, the pheromone and the scent they put off, and their aurora or their how people give off. We all give off something, you know,
vibes. They know people vibes. Yeah, they know people.
That may be why Austin's dog, he's maybe getting a little aggravated, or he's already thinking, I just need to go ahead and get popcorn.
Yeah.
I feel that shit, man.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a lot of it. Like I said, it's not that he don't care about the dog or that he don't want the dog to succeed. He's just, I mean, and we've all done it. We've hit the frustration and we've been aggravated, and that just comes with age, you know, and experience. The older you get, and the more like you said, I don't expect shit out of a dog, nothing, because like you said, they'll eat shit and screw its own mama. Why would you get aggravated? It's going to do some dumb shit. I guarantee you.
Dogs are like people. They like who they like. I've had dogs that I've given them to somebody else, and they've just worked so much better with somebody else, just a different personality. I've had dogs that I knew were not going to jive with my personality.
Yep.
It's no different than horses. It's the same thing. I already know that we're not going to get along. We're never going to be successful because we don't see eye to eye. We do not jive.
Yep. And that's what that was what I was telling Austin. I said, he might not. And that's what Austin said too. You know, he was thinking, he was like, I said, well, he just might not be the dog he might not be your dog. He might be great for somebody else. You know, somebody who's got a stronger handle on a dog, and that dog might need a little more stern handler. Like we said before, putting the dog in the right hands, that can change everything.
I turn out 40 or 50 puppies every year.
Yep.
That I let the public have, and just to keep things going. And I'm steady studying them, but I put them in hand. I don't just I'm not a puppy factory, guys. I just usually get enough money back to pay for the shots and the feed.
That's right.
And I stick them. I'm more or less, because I know the puppies are solid, because I don't ever get no complaints. I'm really just checking the people. That dog, because my dogs will test you, I promise. You know anything about that, Joey?
Yeah. Yes.
My dogs are going, you're not going to test them. These son of bitches is going to test you.
Yep.
Oh, I know that's right.
We got that little buttermilk at the house. He's tested us and everything on the yard, especially one mean-ass little bulldog. He likes to go over and just lay in his food bowl with him. That son of a bitch, I send you a picture of him leaned against the lawnmower when I pulled up. His neck was swollen up bigger than his head, and he loves it. He loves it.
Yeah.
It don't make a damn. And he'll go right back over and do it again. But then again, he runs loose with all these other dogs, and they might be best friends tomorrow. You don't know. He's something. I'm telling you.
If I walk outside and talk to these dogs early in the morning, like we going hunting, and get them all excited, and then I forget something, I have to go back into the house.
It's
a 100% chance I'm walking back out to a 8-way dog
fight. Yep. I'm telling you, all day, every day, these dogs love each other. They'll lay up together and just be the best of friends. But if I don't give them something to do, I'm not exercising them, working them, giving them something to put teeth on. It's guaranteed somebody going, because all my dogs, my males, they're all intact. I mean, they get along. They know which dog is which, but there'll be some dog fights like you were talking about. If I get them all excited, same exact thing. And they've got that, we're going to get something and you don't give them something to get, they're going to get each other.
You got that.
Right.
Guaranteed every damn time. Just go on and put them in the box. You got to take them somewhere.
You got to do something with them.
Yeah.
And that's,
they get all worked up.
Well, and that's the thing about having dogs that are, high pressure dogs or, high strung dogs, whatever you want to call them. If you don't have dogs like that, chances are you don't have a dog that's really going to kick out there and get busy. Now, and I'm not, and I know there's going to be people who's got like, oh, my dog's never fight and they do all that. And that's fine. And I know they're out there. But
that's a lot to do with breed of dog, though,
yes.
too, I think. That's a huge part of it is there's just, some of these dogs like Catahoulas. Catahoulas get in a fight. Somebody better get out there because there might be a dead dog.
Yes.
Exactly.
They're just, it's just the way they're bred.
Oh, I agree. And like you said, it's depending on what breed of dog you have. And if you got some crossbreeds and stuff, you never know really what you're going to get if you haven't done it consistently over a period of years. So
they got those characteristics of those different breeds as working dogs that just, for sure.
That's exactly right.
I try to tell everybody my problem is I didn't have a very good daddy.
You think that's the only problem?
It's a genetic flaw. I'm a heterozygous cross, partner.
There you go.
Back up before you get bit.
But Jaslan, now, are you going to have any breedings in the near future? Are you going to have puppies available, or?
Well, my main female that I breed, I had a litter earlier this year. I just got all those dogs sent off, and they should be tracking this season. But my main dog, she should come into season about November, and so I plan on breeding her this fall, and then that'll put puppies into the next year.
Okay, I got you. You got a pretty good waiting list already, or you gonna have some available?
I should. I'd only place my dogs with people that are going to work them and do something with them. I don't. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
My vetting process is pretty tough. I tell more people no than I say yes to.
I agree.
And I don't mean to be rude or mean, but it's just, I may only have 6 puppies and I've got to pick the best home and people to put those dogs with.
Yes. Because like you said, if you got 6 and there's 100 people interested, that's a tough process to go by, and you can't just all the time look at Facebook or social media.
I don't have a waiting list. I don't have a list that I'm going through. You're next in line. I'm picking the best people that are interested in a dog at that time to get one of these dogs. And the dog, and not just a dog. That dog, I'm looking at everything. I'm getting these dogs' personalities. I don't send them off at 7 weeks. I keep them and get a little idea of what kind of personality this dog has. We were talking about dog personalities. I can tell a lot, not everything, but I can get a pretty good broad idea of that dog's personality. And is he going to match this person's style of hunting, what they're wanting to do with the dog?
I got you.
You know, I really want to place them with somebody that they're going to vibe with. Same thing we're talking about. You know, they're going to get along with them. They're going to work.
Hey, look here, I'm going to say something, man. I don't want nobody that's been on a podcast with us. Everybody that's been on a podcast with us is pretty good dog people there. But I've heard a lot of men talk, and I ain't heard none of them say or explain it the way she's just did.
That's right.
So, guys, y'all better step your game up.
Well, I mean,
we got girls out here doing it better and cleaner than we are.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about all that.
I'm telling
you, let me talk. It's my time to shine.
Well, we've been. I'm talking about. We've been digging around a little bit, and I will say one thing: we have been pretty lucky and we've only had just a few women on, and that's not our fault. Like we have reached out to quite a few, and a lot of them they're like, I don't know, and I know what it is. It's all the bullshit you got to deal with already, you know. We talked to Miss Cody Fox the other night, and I'm telling you, she's like you.
Oh yeah, Cody Fox.
But I'm telling you, she knows her stuff. Sir. And like Pat said, there's y'all guys got to step your shit up if you're going to get into it and try to explain things to where people can understand where you're at in life with it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, don't go ahead, Pat.
You had Melaine Moke on here the other day.
Yep.
And hey, I've hunted with her. She got a little brindle dog that'll get gone.
Yep.
Jen done killed 2 bucks out there. And I mean, these girls is I mean.
Yeah, Jen's on our field staff. We got her on our field staff when we first started this stuff. I was like, man, we better grab her up
Yeah,
as quick as possible. She stays busy, man.
There's a lot of women out there that are doing some great things with dogs and hunting.
That's right.
Yes. And we need to have we need to have y'all available. We got to. Like I said, you're a staple in the sports that we're doing, but 30 years ago you didn't hear about it. 20 years ago you might have heard just a little. 10 years ago you started to hear some. Now there's like you said, there's a lot of women that are in this stuff and they got good dogs and they know what they're doing.
And
that's right.
She can explain it better because her ego don't get in the way.
Yes.
She just explains it so much better, than I can, which I'm challenged anyway, and I'm shy and all that shit.
Know.
So
we know. We know how shy you are.
So
well, I feel a little bit privileged that then, talking about not having many women on your show. I already told y'all thank you, but yeah, really, I really truly appreciate the opportunity to come and talk about my dogs. It's never a bad time to talk about my dogs. I love them.
We appreciate
and I love what I do with them.
Yeah, and that's without a doubt. We appreciate you taking your time, getting on here and sharing your life with us and the things that you do and your outlook on it. And like I said, now we're a little bit different style as far as the podcast go. We're more having a conversation. We're just sitting around talking shit, talking dogs. We talk stories and blah, 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 and all this stuff. Hey, if you want to cuss, you can cuss. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Whatever. We're an open book is what I'm saying. So yeah, it seems like there's so many other things that are worried about what other people are thinking. Here's the thing about that is people are going to think what they want to anyway, regardless of what you say, and you will not change their mind, but you can change their outlook.
That's right.
I firmly believe you can change a person's outlook in some form or fashion by just being yourself. Their outlook, they might think I'm a great person until they hear me. Yeah. And then they might be like, that guy's a dumbass. I don't want to talk to him.
As long as they can comprehend.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? You can change, you can make little changes, subtle changes.
Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes you got to plant that seed.
It's time
in their mind.
And right now, I just planted a whole row of all these women. Right now, we got a whole row, and they're gonna blossom. And then we're going to have a whole orchard.
I don't claim to be good at nothing. I'm just going to show up and let my dogs do the walking and talking and speak for themselves.
Well,
That's all I do is chauffeur them up.
That means you're better than about 90% already, baby. I promise.
What'd she just say? Run your damn dogs, not your damn mouth.
That's exactly right. Well, I think that's a good spot right there for us to cut, man. We've been on, about an hour and a half, 2 hours?
Yeah.
Been on a pretty good while.
We were having a good old time.
Oh yeah. But like anytime you want to holler at us, jump back on. And we might be calling on you later for some questions. Do a Q&A because we have people that call us with questions all the time. And we got to have some experts out in the field that know a lot more about this shit than I do. So,
well, I'm no expert, but I would, if you've ever got an opportunity to have me back on, I would love to anytime.
Yes.
I mean, I'd be more than blessed to come back on and talk to you guys again. It's been a good time. I enjoyed it, and I'm thankful that y'all had me on. And hopefully, we would get a hold of some people that might be needing my services this season. And I take every call I can. Yeah.
We're gonna put your info on all our stuff
down in the description.
Yeah, in the description and stuff, and that way,
awesome.
If people, our listeners can hop on there and look and say, okay, this is how we get in touch with you.
Well, thank you so much. I sure appreciate it. That good deal. All
right, that'll work. Well, Pat, you got anything else to add? You got anything else to add to this one?
No, I'm good. I mean, she explained things way better than I ever could.
Ain't that the truth? Like I said, that's pretty damn slick. I'm glad we got to talk to you, Miss Jaslan. Well, guys, that's another one in the books. And y'all just keep listening and hang on because we're going to the moon with this thing.
Yes, indeed.
That's right.
All right.
Hey, I love y'all. Let me get off of here. I got some kind of race going down through the pasture. I got to go.
All right, Doc. We'll see you, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
All right. See y'all.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. I think I got all that hung up at one time. I'm figuring this phone thing out. So, all right. Yeah, these last couple of women we've had, man, I'm talking about like they are legit. I mean, like dead on with their shit. I like it. Might see if I can get some dogs rounded up from them or something.
No, do
yeah,
not
we need
do
a couple
that.
more dogs.
Do not do that.
Okay, so listen, listeners out there in the world, in the hog dog
giving away
world.
something.
Yeah. Okay, look, that's what we'll do. I will give a dog out, a good dog, not just regular dog, whatever, a dog that's going and doing its thing that you can take it and go catch hogs with. Let's say I'll do it probably say around first of the year, right before hog season gets going good, after deer season's over. But in return, y'all have to make sure y'all let Nate know that it's okay for me to get a couple new ones. Trade 1 for 2, maybe, or 3. 1 for 3.
No.
Fuck. Hey, it's up to y'all. It's up to y'all. Will it? Tell him.
Be good this year, and Santa might bring you something.
Fuck that bastard. Hey, guys, thanks for listening. It's another one. We out this mother. Yes, we are.
Thank you.
Hope y'all enjoyed that episode. Stay tuned for our new episodes every Monday and Wednesday. For questions, advertising, or just to chat, email DixieDoggers01@gmail.com.